UFC Fight Night Edmonton just took place. Brandon Moreno versus Amir Albazi. Brandon Moreno won by unanimous decision in the main event. Blanchfield won by unanimous decision in the co-main event. I went 8-5 total on my picks. Parlay did not cash. Marc-Andre Barrio fucked that whole thing up. We'll get into that, but we will recap every single fight on this card, starting with the first fight of the night, going all the way up to the main event. So without further ado, first fight of the night, we had Jamie Lynn Horth versus Ivana Petrovic, and we took a win here to start the card. It was a close fight. Petrovic was holding Jamie Lynn Horth against the fence for a lot of this fight, but then Jamie Lynn Horth on the feet was landing the heavier strikes, and she took home that decision win. Not much to say. It wasn't an incredible fight or anything. Petrovic was trying to smudge this up and trying to take this from us, but judges did not let it happen. Next fight of the card, we had Henheliger versus Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson looked like prime Habib in this fight, out-grappling Henheliger every single round. He should have got the sub, though, in that second round, if I'm not lying. He very well should have got that sub. He had two tight arm triangles in that second round. Couldn't get it done. He got the decision win, though, so good win for Cody Gibson. And then next fight up the card, we had Surrey City versus Garrett Armfield. And this was a pretty close fight, but a lot of people are calling this shit a robbery. It was not a robbery, guys. Go back and rewatch. Like, Surrey City, that first round, he had this submission attempt in the first round, and the striking numbers were, like, pretty close to even. So, like, you can make the argument City won the first. And then the second round, it was pretty much dead even on the strikes, and you can make the argument City won that round. Third round comes along, Garrett Armfield won that third round all day, but there's the argument for the first and the second, so that gives the City the opportunity to win, and he ended up winning. Just because it's a split decision does not make it a robbery. It was not a robbery, guys. I just want to make that clear. No matter how much you think this was a robbery because you were betting on Armfield, it was not a robbery. It was a split decision win, razor close fight. Could have went to Armfield, but that does not make it a robbery. It does not make it a robbery because it could have went to Armfield. It was a razor close fight. It could have went to either one. They chose City. Next fight up the card, Alexander Romanov versus Rodrigo Nascimento. Oh my God, what a barn burner this one was. Just fucking action, start to finish. What an incredible fight these heavyweights put on here. In all honesty, it was one of the most boring fights I've ever seen, man. These guys, I honestly would not have been upset if they did not declare a winner, if they just sent both of them back with a fucking cheesy gordita crunch combo from Taco Bell. That would have been a bit better than seeing any of these guys' hands get raised, because they did not deserve it. But Romanov won that decision. Can't wait to pick against him next fight. Next fight up the card, we had Youssef Zalal versus Jack Shore. And if you were in the Discord, guys, you would have seen we cashed that fucking plus 700 and plus 300. Whether you did the Zalal by sub or Zalal by sub or KO, you were making money either way. I played KO by Zalal by KO or sub in the Discord, but I sent out the submission before, so both of those cashed. Great win for Zalal with the second round submission win over Jack Shore. I was a little worried at the first 10 seconds of this fight. You know, Jack Shore had him in a clinch against the fence. I was a little worried. I was like, okay, Jack Shore's out pressuring him, but no, Zalal got it done, was able to find that submission. Great win for Zalal. I don't think he's going to be a title contender, but, you know, it's a good win for him. Jack Shore, the Brits love that one, so good win. Next fight of the card, we had Charles Jourdain versus Victor Henry. I, of course, had Victor Henry. This was my second loss of the night because I had Nascimento, but Victor Henry was just getting outmanned pretty much. Jourdain just looked bigger and got taken down pretty quickly. It was a second round guillotine, I'm pretty sure. But, like, Henry was keeping up. He was not looking terrible. Second round comes along, he gets caught in a guillotine choke where he doesn't really try to fight. Like, how are you tapping to a guillotine choke when you're in you're in half guard? You're not even in full guard where it's most dangerous. You're in half guard. How does he have that angle on you? It doesn't make sense. People are going to say, oh, the squeeze. No, I think Henry just kind of bitched out of that one, if I'm being honest. So, great win for Charles Jourdain, though. I can't wait to pick against you in your next fight. Next fight of the card we had. This actually wasn't on the prelims because Derek Lewis pulled out. So they moved up Ariane Lipski versus Jasmine Jasudavicius to the main card. So I'll actually wait to talk about that one. The featured prelim was Ayman Zahabi versus Pedro Munoz. I got a good live bet on Ayman Zahabi. He was landing the heat in the first round. I decided we're laying the hammer down, and we did it. And he won 30-27 unanimously. Great win for Ayman Zahabi. Pedro Munoz is pretty washed at this point. First fight on the main card, we have Mike Malott versus Trevin Giles. And, man, this was not a great, it was a boring fight. Good win for Mike Malott. He won this fight by decision unanimously, I'm pretty sure. And, just wasn't anything really to talk about. He did not attempt a single takedown this entire fight. Just kind of barely outstruck him on the feet, and he won a unanimous. So good win for Mike Malott. Next fight up the card, we had Marc-Andre Barriault versus Dustin Stoltzfus, the Parlay Crusher. The Parlay Crusher. I had Marc-Andre Barriault, guys, and he got taken down immediately pretty much. And finished off by TKO in the first round. What the fuck happened? What the fuck was this performance? Honestly, this was a sad performance. This was not the guy I bet on. The guy that fought was not the guy I bet on. So, I can get all the shit that you'll give me. It doesn't matter. Marc-Andre Barriault, most times out of 10 is winning that fight, guys. That was not him that showed up tonight. That was not him that showed up November 2nd, 2024, UFC Edmonton. Marc-Andre Barriault did not show up. He decided he was just going to get fucking annihilated and show up for the check. So, good win, Dustin Stoltzfus. I can't wait to pick against you in your next fight. Next fight of the card, we had Cal Machado versus Brenton Ribeiro. Back and forth, striking battle on the feet here. Pretty close first round. Close-ish second round, but it went to Machado. And then Ribeiro won that third round pretty clearly, so goes to a split decision where Ribeiro wins. I'm not upset about it. I picked Machado. I didn't bet on him, obviously, because why would you bet on this fight? If you want to make money, why would you bet on this fight? It doesn't make sense. Ribeiro ended up winning. I'm not upset about it. It is what it is, Can't wait to pick against you in your next fight, Ribeiro. Next fight up the card, we had Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Ariane Lipski. That first round had me on the edge of my seat, man. Ariane Lipski outstruck Jasmine Jasudavicius the way she loves to do. Underdog fashion. Second round comes along. Jasudavicius does what she does best. Gets that takedown off. Nice ground and pound. Nice work on the bottom. And third round comes along. She gets a good Darce choke win over Ariane Lipski. Great win for Jasmine Jasudavicius. I love you. Co-main event, Erin Blanchfield, Rose Namajunas. Rose Namajunas gassed, guys. She won the first two rounds, and Erin Blanchfield in the third round holds her against the fence for a little bit longer. And then the fourth round comes along, and Erin Blanchfield gets a takedown and holds her against the ground for a little bit longer, and a little bit longer, and a little bit longer than that. And that was the whole fourth round. And then the fifth round comes along, and newsflash, guys, she does the same thing. She just holds her on the ground without doing anything. A little bit longer than that. And she ends up taking home that unanimous decision win. She's not doing anything, guys. You can say it's a good win for Blanchfield just because it says W in her fucking topology page. That doesn't make it a good win. This was one of the most boring fights I've seen. I'm going to move on. Main event, Brandon Moreno versus Amir Albazi. Guys, I told you Brandon Moreno was better than this guy no matter where this fight went. Amir Albazi got a takedown in the third round, and Brandon Moreno got up immediately. What a pussy Amir Albazi is. This guy got crushed by Kai Kara-France in his last fight and got gifted a decision. You guys would have been celebrating if he got his hand raised at the end of the fight no matter what happened. So I don't give a fuck. Brandon Moreno beat his ass. Kai Kara-France beat his ass. Amir Albazi is a little loser. You guys should have known not to pick this guy. What were you doing?